A lonely island rises from the cold waters of San Francisco Bay, surrounded by powerful tides, icy currents, and an unforgiving stretch of open water. From a distance, it appears almost peaceful. But for decades, those concrete walls and guard towers represented one of the most feared places in America. This was Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, a prison built for inmates considered too dangerous, too violent, or too difficult to control anywhere else. It was a place where escape was believed to be virtually impossible, and where every aspect of daily life revolved around discipline, security, and absolute control. Long before it became America's most infamous prison, Alcatraz served a very different purpose. During the mid-19th century, the island was transformed into a military fortress because of its strategic location at the entrance to San Francisco Bay. Cannons were installed to protect the city from potential naval attacks, and the island later became a military prison. By the early 1930s, the United States government faced growing problems with organized crime and violent repeat offenders. Officials decided to convert Alcatraz into a federal penitentiary designed to house inmates who repeatedly caused trouble in other prisons. When the prison opened in 1934, it introduced a level of security rarely seen at the time. The island itself served as one of its strongest defenses. Surrounded by freezing water, unpredictable currents, and nearly 2 kilometers from the mainland, any escape attempt meant confronting the bay before reaching freedom. Inside the prison, reinforced steel bars, electronically controlled doors, armed guard towers, regular inmate counts, and tightly controlled movement created multiple layers of security. Every routine was carefully planned to eliminate opportunities for violence or escape. Life inside Alcatraz followed strict schedules from morning until night. Prisoners lived in small cells containing only the essentials: a bed, a sink, a toilet, and a small shelf. Meals, work assignments, recreation, and inspections all followed precise timetables. Silence was often enforced, and communication between inmates was closely monitored. The prison operated with military precision, leaving little room for personal freedom or unpredictability. For many inmates, the psychological weight of isolation proved just as difficult as the physical confinement. Yet despite its reputation as America's escape-proof prison, Alcatraz would soon become famous for a mystery that continues to fascinate historians more than 60 years later. A carefully planned escape involving handmade tools, lifelike dummy heads, and a homemade raft would challenge everything the prison claimed to represent, and leave behind one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American criminal history. Among the men sent to Alcatraz were some of the most well-known federal inmates of their era, including Al Capone, George, Machine Gun, Kelly, and Robert Stroud. They were transferred there not because of celebrity, but because prison authorities believed they required the highest level of control. Alcatraz was designed to break the influence inmates held in other prisons, limiting communication, enforcing strict routines, and ensuring that no individual could dominate the institution. Yet the prison's greatest challenge came in 1962. 3 inmates, Frank Morris and brothers John Anglin and Clarence Anglin, quietly carried out one of the most extraordinary escape attempts in history. For months, they secretly widened damaged ventilation openings behind their cells using improvised tools. Hidden behind the prison walls, they created a concealed workspace where they assembled an inflatable raft and life jackets from hundreds of stolen raincoats. To delay discovery, they crafted remarkably realistic dummy heads using soap, paper, paint, and real human hair collected from the prison barber shop. On the night of June 11th, the 3 men slipped through the openings, climbed into an unused service corridor, reached the roof, and descended to the shoreline. By the time guards discovered the dummy heads the following morning, the escapees had disappeared into the darkness of San Francisco Bay. A massive search involving the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Coast Guard, and local authorities followed. Pieces of the homemade raft and personal belongings were recovered, but no confirmed trace of the 3 men was ever found. Officials concluded they most likely drowned in the freezing water, yet because no bodies were recovered, the mystery has never been definitively resolved. Ironically, the famous escape was not the reason Alcatraz closed. Operating a prison on an isolated island proved enormously expensive. Every supply, from food and fuel to fresh water, had to be transported by boat. Salt air steadily corroded buildings, maintenance costs continued to rise, and newer mainland facilities could provide comparable security at far lower expense. In 1963, the federal government permanently closed the prison. Today, Alcatraz stands as one of the world's most recognizable historical landmarks. Millions visit the island each year, walking the same corridors that once held America's most difficult inmates. Its legacy extends far beyond prison walls. Alcatraz transformed correctional security, inspired countless books and films, and became a lasting symbol of maximum security incarceration. More than 60 years after its closure, one question still echoes across the cold waters of San Francisco Bay. Did the three escapees perish in the currents, or did they achieve the impossible? That unanswered mystery ensures Alcatraz remains not just a prison of history, but one of history's greatest enigmas.